Okay, this is how to check the filter on your Fisher Paykel front loader and clean it out. So you'll notice this washing machine's off, it's empty, it's unplugged. You don't need to have, it doesn't need to be unplugged, but just notice there's no water in it. So even when you've got an empty machine, water will still come out of here. If you've got a situation where it stopped pumping the water out and the water's up here, doing this, all that water's going to come out. So what you need is a screwdriver, or a butter knife works as well. So you put it in this little slot and you pull it down, or a lot of the time you can just grab it here and it pulls down. Sometimes when you do that, it snaps that little bit there. So ideally this, and then pull it down. Don't be tempted to use keys. You can bend your keys doing it. I've done that. Don't use keys. So now you've got this little tube here. So there's two ways you can do this. We can pull this tube down and pull this cap out. Now sometimes it'll be kinked back here, so you have to kind of pull it, or the water won't come out. You can just undo it. So if you do it this way as well, this is much more controlled. To do it this way, you can kind of stop it whenever you want. But if you start unscrewing this, sometimes you can't start screwing it back in, so you lose control of the situation. So I'm just gonna try and put this phone here for a minute. Okay, so see if I pull, you might have to like turn it a little bit to break the seal it's got on the rubber. Okay, so this one I think might be kinked inside the machine. Yeah, it was. And you can kind of see there, that's where the kink is. So sometimes it's, see, and I pushed it there with my fingers to unkink it. Now the water's going to come out. So they say you can get like a little bucket or something and try and get it in. I find towels, just putting some towels down, some dirty towels ideally, and you just put the towels down and that'll catch the water. But again, like if your washing machine's full up with water, that can be a problem. So anyway, let's say you've taken all the water out through there. You push that little bit back in, you put it like that. Now the other way to do it is we're just going to take the filter straight out and pick this phone up again. Sometimes this can be quite hard to turn, and notice that it locks in at 6 o'clock. Bit hard to see in this light. There's like a straight bit on it, and there we go, it's a bit better. And it locks in at 6 and 12. So I'm just going to unscrew it. Sometimes it can be hard. If you've got pliers, you can get it with some pliers. So now we unscrew it. So you can see how much the water's just all coming out. Now, and sometimes you won't be able to get that to screw back in. So now you can see this one's a bit dirty. So, but often you'll have like coins or hair ties or band-aids or whatever. And that's what's stopping the pump from working. Especially, you'll see this propeller at the back. That is prone to getting hair ties and band-aids caught around it. In this case, you can see in the machine that it looks, this one maybe has a paper clip in it. So I'm just going to put my fingers in. Yeah, and you got a bit of rubbish there. It's pretty clean on the whole. But what you want to do, you want to, with your phone torch if you can, you really want to look in there and kind of even see behind the shaft to make sure there's nothing caught on it. If there is, you grab a pair of tweezers, really long tweezers if you've got them, or needle nose pliers can sometimes get it, and you kind of want to yank it off. Real fiddly. Now the danger is as well when you take these out, so we say not to take them out unless you need to take them out. Like if you've got like a big bit of, I don't know, something long that comes, so where it comes in is there's a pipe where it comes in, and if something long comes in, it kind of gets in and jams the filter, and so like it won't come out, and then like once the water starts rushing out of it as well, it won't go back in either, so you kind of end up with a situation where it's half in, half out. So you want to, if it kind of gets jammed in and it's kind of stuck like that, you want to get a flathead screwdriver in behind it and lever it out basically. And sometimes you need to use a lot of force and you'll actually break this getting it out, which is one of the big reasons we say just don't touch these at all. So once you got it out, clean it up, get a loose gunk off it, and then you put it back in. It's got these little locators on it, there and there, and it locates, like if you look on the bottom, it goes, the locator goes in there. And just also notice there's this rubber washer, and you want to make sure that's clean as well. Don't do what I'm doing now. And if it doesn't lock in like I showed you earlier at 12 and 6, then that's usually because this rubber washer has like come out and it's like pinching, and so basically it should lock in at 12 and 6. If it doesn't, there's a good chance it's going to leak. So I'm just going to screw that back in. So this should be it now. Yeah, and see, we're back at 12 and 6. That's how you clean the filter out. That should solve most issues with the water not draining from the machine doing that. But if you pulled it out and it's very clean, then there's a good chance that it's not the problem. And the actual problem is that the pump is failing, and they usually start failing intermittently. So it'll work maybe 2 out of 3 times, and then it stops working, and it just kind of keeps going like that until it fails completely.